Hey Herman, how you doing?
Fine. How are you, Nick?
I'm good. SPL, MESSE 2007. You've got a bunch of new products, right?
Yeah, we got 3 new products to show here. Yeah, we just start. Come on over here. So our well-acclaimed Crimson is now in the 3rd generation, and it's basically the Crimson as we all know it, but we have added 2 very neat features. One is a built-in talkback microphone with talkback gain. So that makes life easier when you work with people. And another very important thing is the Phonitor matrix. Now, if you're not used to what Phonitor matrix is all about, it is actually helping you to successfully mix on headphones.
Right, okay.
That's what it does. So take a look at it. There is this little crossfeed over here that sets what is called the interaural level difference.
Okay,
wow,
the science, man.
Yeah, that's science, man. So what it actually does, it puts that amount that you usually have as a blend coming from one speaker to the other ear.
Okay.
It produces that blend. And at the same time, there is what is called interaural time difference.
Right.
And that's about your speaker's time using to travel from this ear to that compared to this speaker. So there is a little time delay in there as well. And both of these things are being calculated into that matrix. So it compensates for these effects and allows you to create mixes on cans that translate to speakers.
And is it more to do with the stereo imaging than the frequency response?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, that's very interesting. And that's all inside this little guy here?
Yeah. These are the 2 new features that got into the Crimson and made the Crimson an even better product with, now I think it's pretty, this is a little studio all in its own.
Yeah, so it's like a monitor controller and audio interface.
Yeah, and it's even an analog monitor controller. It doesn't do anything in the digital domain there. So it's what people really like to have is analog monitor control. Inputs, you got 2 instrument inputs, 2 microphone inputs, and some people say the microphone inputs are that good that they are worth the money for the whole product on its own.
Right, are they using what? Are they using
discrete preamps. So the individual transistors, it's like what you find on boutique ones, so we put it in here. So that's really a high-end audio interface, monitor controller, blah blah blah. So yeah, move over. Next thing. Now this is the surround monitor controller, the SMC 7.1, and it is a product that follows up our SMC product that we do for since 2003, I guess.
Right.
And it has been very, very successful. But it was 5.1. And many people asked us, oh, can you do 7.1? It is difficult because there is almost no company doing 8-gang pods.
Okay.
So what we did is we actually make our own pods now.
Solve the problem.
So
ultimately it's a kind of overall level control for an 7.1 system,
yes,
right?
Plus a few very unique features that you need to successfully monitor. Now let me just show you a few things. You have 2 7.1 inputs, and the unit remembers what selection you actually had.
Okay, so you don't have to have all the monitors on, you can have 2 sets.
Well, you can have 2 sets, and you can say one is like 4.0 and the other is like a 6.1 that I'm monitoring. 2 stereo inputs as well. Now, when you do surround, you may want to listen to speakers in place. So solo in place is the function. Let's say you want to listen to the left surround speaker. You just press that and now you only hear that speaker. Now, okay, now it's in the back, but you want to hear it in the front, so you swap it to solo to center, and it moves to the center and front. And now every speaker you select, you audition that through the center speaker in front of you.
Right, so you're auditioning the separate mixes effectively, or the separate sends. So if you were using that in mix mode, where you're actually mixing down, you can hear that in front of you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because that's always EQing is different when you get it from here or from there. Perception of is different. And this is coming from our big mastering consoles that we do for Bob Ludwig and the likes. So from they all had these features built in, and now we wanted to have these features also available at a much more reasonable price point than big mastering consoles.
So pretty specialized, but pretty
unique
as well.
Exactly. That is a very unique 7x1 controller, and yeah, people have asked for these requirements. Also, that they have an inbuilt headphone amplifier was also a requirement that has been asked for.
Right. And what's the connections like around the back? Because I mean, there's not a lot of room on there. You don't. All right, you got discrete. Oh, you got D types. Okay.
Yeah, it's all balanced. So you got 2 times 8 channel inputs, 8 channel outputs, DB25s. You have stereo inputs balanced on XLRs, Neutral XLRs. You got stereo output, and you have a sub output. So you can also do 2.1 setups.
Right. Okay.
And you have a meter output, so that you can also do put up your metering on it.
You thought of everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
It sounds like, I mean, this kind of stuff is specialised, so I mean, presumably it's not like aimed at the budget end of the market. So what sort of price are we talking for this?
The price point is like 1,500, 1,600 euros retail.
Okay, but for that specialised stuff, it's
but that's with German VAT.
Okay. And what about the Crimson 3?
I think it's 699.
Oh, okay. Cheaper than I thought. Good work. And there's more. There's even more.
Yeah, there's more. There's one more if you have the time. This is about USB to MADI. And we've come up with this little tiny box over here, which is called the Madiscon, so Marty Connection basically.
Yeah.
And this has 64 input channels and 64 output channels on USB, and on the other side it goes to MADI. Like we have here, our Madiscon is our 16 channels analog and 16 channels output device, all analog, and they can all be going into your computer with this little Madiscon box over there.
Wow, okay. So you get, what can you get? Is it 64 channels over a single MADI cable, or is it?
Yes, it's the typical MADI standard. And you also get like a very intuitive monitoring mixer where you can have 7 mixes. One is your own up here, and then you have 6 headphone mixes, and all can be comprised out of 32 channels. You can have various selections of inputs and door playbacks. Like here we got 24 to 8, but when you make a new setup, you'll be asked if you just want to have 32 inputs or 16 by 16 or whatever. Let's do that. So swap, and now the mixer gives you that image. There are some nice features in here as well. Just a few of them is it tells you when you select, let's say input number 1 goes to channel 6, and it tells
you can cross patch it.
You can cross patch, and down here you see that the input number 1 is being occupied or used in that specific mixer.
Yeah, very handy.
Yeah, same for the outputs. You go for 15, and you see down here, oh yeah, I use that in this specific mixer.
So what's this going to be useful for? Is it for creating monitor mixes without having a monitor board? I mean, what?
Yeah, because this is an FPGA device, and it has very, very low latency in the digital domain, the lowest you can get actually. So if you are running a studio, and let's just put it like this. In today's studios, people come in and they want to rent a space, and they don't have a lot of money, basically, and time. So they prepare their projects on their own computers. Now they come into this place and they want to record something and say, well, I got my laptop with me and I prepared everything. And then the studio guy says, well, no issue, I got a USB device.
So you plug that in, and then
you plug that in, and boom, you are connected to the studio.
So you could have room B. We've got this. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then you can use multiple Madiscons. Let's say one is in recording room number 1, the other is in recording 2 in the drum room, for example. And you have access to all of these rooms, and there is no special wiring required for the guy who gets into the studio. This mixer is explained in 5 minutes, and so they are ready to go in 10 minutes.
And then they'll just show up at your DAW inputs or whatever.
Yes, yes.
That's a really interesting solution. Okay, so What, does it run over USB 3 or USB 2 or what's that?
No, USB 3 is kind of, everybody likes USB, but USB 3 is actually USB 2 on gigabit, right? And it's USB 2, like RME's device is also USB 2. So, but you need to have a special treatment of the USB to get all of the channels channeled through the USB cable, what is called multi-transaction. And this is been supporting multi-transaction mode.
Oh, okay, so this is kind of similar to the monitor mix that you get for a Motu or an RME
exactly.
or whatever, and then they shut down.
Just that it has a few clever features, plus you can record.
Oh, really? Directly in it?
Yeah. So that's what was our idea. I mean, we have access to all of the input channels, so why not just go there? Let's say you're in a live situation. Or can you record it? Oh no, I don't have the workstation with me. You don't need to. You just go, I have your monitor mix, and you go for record, and it takes all the 64 channels, makes a very clever automated labeling of sessions and takes, and they're all consolidated and all precise in time. You take the whole block, put it into Pro Tools or whatever, and start editing later.
That's what happened then, right? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds very cool. So what's the price of your Madiscon?
The German estimated street retail is 699 on this one.
Right. But it has a very useful. So will it work with any MADI audio streams?
Yeah, MADI is a standard. There's no problem. And it works with core audio. It doesn't even need a driver with a Mac. Hot plug with Mac. And we have a driver for Windows. But there's one cool feature. We have. There is an output, an optical output.
Yeah.
And as you know, with all of the Macs now, they don't have an optical output anymore. So what do you do with system audio? When you want to watch a YouTube video, whatever.
Right, so you've just got...
1 and 2 always pass out there, no matter what you do with the rest. So that actually means if you have your control room set up and you want to use this to drive your DA that you use for your speakers, you can take the Madiscon and put that into another room.
Ah, okay.
And you have your ADDA over there, all close together, and it's just a fiber line that goes to that thing. And
neat.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for showing it.
Yeah, well, that's our stuff from Frankfurt. Have fun. Bye-bye.